Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of Sisters of Legacy. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and run our intro, give you guys a chance to like and share, and we'll be right back. All right, and here I am sharing and making noise all at the same time. If I could just cut this off, I'm failing. All right, guys, thank you. What is this? Oh my Jesus. Okay, thank you for joining us. Having a little minor snafu there. But thank you guys for taking out from your time to join us on this evening. This evening, we are missing the wonderful Tangela Terrell. So we do recognize that she is not here and she will be returning next week. But I have my other two fabulous co hosts here with me, Katrina Taylor.
Hey.
And we have Shanetta McNair.
Hi.
All right, Trina, we're working on it. Listen, one of these
That
days
was
I'm calling your name.
enthusiastic. No?
It's getting it's getting better. It's coming. One of these days you're gonna be like, hey.
All right, it's coming.
we gonna work it in there. All right, guys. So tonight our topic is, we always try to abbreviate the topic. It is who you are past your title. So the inspiration or the thought behind this particular title was the lovely Shanetta McNair was a big influence in coming up with this title. She is becoming an empty nester in a few months. Her last baby is going off to college. And although she is smiling right now and dancing, there's been a lot of other feelings associated with that as well. And it kind of made me think, like, do we put so much of ourselves into one certain thing? And I'm not speaking about Shanetta. Let me just clear that up. I'm just saying, seeing her go through this has been the inspiration for the title. But sometimes I feel like we put so much into one area of our lives, whatever, and for everybody that area can be different. That when that season changes, or the dynamics of that area change, a lot of times people find themselves not sure of who they are or what they want or what to do next. So as always, we like to pose the questions that will hopefully spark conversation. So tonight, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, besides being a mother, a sister, a daughter, a wife, a friend, who are you at your core? What qualities do you have? What gifts do you have? Tonight is all going to be about you, or I should say about me. It's going to be about all of us tonight. We're going to have the conversation. And tonight we're going to do something that either of us, of the three of us, really do. Hey, Vera, how are you? Tonight we are going to brag a little bit on ourselves. We are going to accentuate all the positives that we bring to whatever table we choose to sit at. So that's the task. And I didn't tell these ladies that because, I know they don't like to do all of that. So this was kind of, a spring it on a moment. Absolutely, Vera. I'm an ambassador for the Most High King. I know that's right. Listen, so Trina, I'm just gonna pick on you first. I know because you didn't want to start. So So tell us what hats you wear. Let's start with that. Tell us what hats you wear.
Of course, I'm a mother, uh, friend, business owner, sister, daughter. Guess that's
Okay.
about it.
All right. So
That's a lot.
past all those things, like when it's just you and you're not mothering, sistering, the business is closed for the day. You've already talked to your mom and it's just you alone. Who do you feel you are? What are your thoughts? Like who are you at that moment? Or if all those things went away somehow, I don't know, let's just say a blank of somebody snapped their finger and you were no longer any of those things. Not in a bad way, just whatever happened. All those things disappear. Who are you then?
Mm, who am I? I think I'm a loner. I'm kind of a recluse. Not a recluse, but like I kind of stay to myself a lot and I'm comfortable there. Um I'd be very happy reading a good book. Um that makes me happy to read a good book to I don't know. I don't know. What are you asking me, Sam?
Okay, so you said you're a recluse, you're a loner. And why is
Yeah.
that? Why?
Um I don't know. I would rather be it's the place I'm comfortable. It's where I'm comfortable. It's my comfort zone. Let's say
Okay.
that. That's where I'm comfortable. Um but like you're asking like when you strip away like saying like okay, I'm a good friend or I'm you know what I mean, like that type of thing, those type of qualities, then it's kind of hard. Like okay, well, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Because a
Okay.
lot of the for me a lot of I guess a lot of my qualities have to do with the small personal circle that I have, my close relationships. That's for me that's where my main qualities are, I think, as far as being those small relations are very important to me. So when if you strip that away, then I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't have big stuff, big relations. I have small, very important things. You know what I mean? Like I just have like those important things. My kids, that's the most important thing. You know, my small circle of friends, that's the important things that I focus on. And then when I'm alone, I mean, I like to read. I mean, I guess there's self-reflection. I mean,
Okay. So Vera said, I am the friend you can always call on in the middle of the night, any day of the week. Oh, Vera, that's great. That sounds exhausting though.
but you said like don't say like you're saying not
No,
don't no friend. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
I
Don't
was
matter.
asking you specifically because, well, let me tell you why. Because sometimes I feel like, and I'll speak about myself. Like a lot of times, you get so comfortable in a role or in a title that, when that title changes or when the role changes, you become lost. And I've experienced that in different areas. And so like, you know, once something happens to me, I just assume a lot of times that I can't be the only person that this has ever happened to. And then prior to it happening, you know, I didn't think that it would ever happen. I didn't prepare for it. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know that I should have several things instead of, this. I didn't know that, at some point there had to be a me in between all these titles. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I'm asking. She said, no, never tiring, because when you need help, There is no good time. Okay. So Shanetta, you wanna jump in?
So I feel a little prepared for this, and let me tell
Okay.
you why. So honestly, today at work, we're studying and preparing for a book series or a book that we're about to teach to the kids. And a part of the preparation for this book was doing this thing called an identity map or an identity web, where you have to kind of pretty much lay out who you are. And this literally, I didn't even pay attention to the topic when you sent it to us earlier. And of course, didn't know you were going to do this. But when you sent the topic earlier, I was literally like mentally mapping out an identity web of who I am, which is like, so I feel a little prepared for this. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I might be able to do this. And then I was cheating while Trina was giving her answer too. I was kind of writing down
Of
stuff.
course.
So I'm kind of glad she went first too, because that kind of helped me to see where you
See,
were going.
now you're making me look
Sam.
bad. Hold on, here you go. Taiwan said everything stripped away. I'm just a collection of thoughts and memories that I try to manifest into actions. Okay.
So what I wrote down, and then I'm going to kind of tell you what my thoughts are. So of
Okay.
course I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm somebody's sister. I'm somebody's daughter. I'm a Christian. I am a teacher. That's what I do. The core of me, I think, the core of me, which is kind of, I think, what when Trina said, "What are you asking me?" I think this is kind of what you were trying to get at. The core of me minus all those things. If all those things are stripped away from me and I don't have any of those things anymore, I think that I'm still a thinker. I'm a person that analyzes everything, like from why is there so much pollen today, but tomorrow there isn't this much pollen?
Okay.
Why is it a storm today and tomorrow it's not? Like, I'm a researcher, I'm a thinker. I am a person that has to have answers. There is no answer to this. There has, like, I'm a person that I'm like, if there is not an answer, I'm about to find an answer. We're going to create an answer because there has to be an answer. So, and one thing that I think that I'm learning about myself with some new things that I am trying is that I might be a little bit of a sidebar activist. Just on the sidelines though, like not directly like in the midst of the march and planning the rally, but I might be like on the sideline, trying to help out a little bit. I might be becoming that person. So aside from because my life is about to change.
Right.
I'm not gonna be running around chasing somebody for football and track and all these sports anymore, because the kids will be, they'll be somewhat adult people. So I won't have to do the momming thing the way that I've been doing for all these years.
Right.
So that definitely changes. Hopefully me and my husband are good friends, and that's a, because we're gonna be looking at each other a whole lot more. So hopefully I'm a good friend to him and he like me and I like him. So, we'll be all right. And we won't be looking at each other like, okay, why are we just staring at each other? But no, on a serious note, I think that definitely the core of me is really centered around being those people for everybody else. So the core of me has been centered around being somebody's mom and being somebody's wife and being somebody's daughter and somebody's sister. But aside from those things, I'm just me.
All right.
We like each other for real though. We do. I see his little faces.
So Vera said a caregiver, a confidant, a nurse, a waymaker, a warrior, a storyteller, a Bible trotter, a party planner, a personal shopper, a comforter, a bully beater, a ram in the bush. Okay, that was a lot. But so like I said, at different times, things change. And I think about us as women, like we wear so many titles and so many hats, and it's always, about this person or this thing or, that thing or, the latest fad or whatever it is, and we so lose sight of us. Like, so I'll talk about myself personally. That way I don't have to anybody else. I was married for a long time, 19 years. And then I got divorced. In 19 years, being somebody's wife, taking care of another person every day. At that point, for a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, like I had been connected to being a wife so long that I didn't even remember the type of food that I just like. Like everything was so about, eating this because, it works for everybody, that it was like a shocker. And then I really didn't even process all the way through it. I just gravitated to, oh, well, I'm a mother. Let me just throw all my energy into the kids. So I didn't have to think about the loss of being a wife. And I feel like as women, a lot of times that's what we do. We throw ourselves, from, from one thing to the next. And we never, I'm not going to say never, but a lot of times we slight ourselves.
Right.
We do ourselves a disservice. Like, I read somewhere about the statistics of women, with heart disease and, all of these stress related illnesses that we incur because a lot of times we overburden ourselves with the different titles and the different stuff. Like I'm the oldest of five. So for the longest, when my siblings was growing up, a large part of my life was about taking care of them and, making sure this and being the super big sister in my mind that I thought I was, whatever, and all these things. And then as they got older and they was like, oh, you don't need a protector anymore. For a minute, I was lost. And I was offended because a big part of who I felt I was a big sister. And then the dynamic changed. I mean, we go through so many things in our lives and we don't often take enough time as women. And I'm not discounting men. I'm just a woman. I don't know what y'all go through. I can't speak on that because I'm just a woman. And we discount ourselves and we do ourselves a disservice. I will say, like, in the last, really? How do you call me when I'm doing this? In the last 2 years, I've really gotten to a place where I'm, like you said, Trina, I don't so much focus on being a loner, but I've gotten to a place where I'm okay if I don't hear from my siblings. I'm okay if my mama don't call. I'm okay the days that my kids be like, oh, we gonna do this and do this and do that, and daddy's gonna go with us. I'm okay when when all of those dynamics go in opposite directions, and I can just be Samantha. And sometimes it is just picking up a book and reading for hours. Sometimes I will just lay on my bed with no TV and just enjoy the silence in the air, or sit on my porch. And I think those little those little things can really bring you some peace and some clarity on, what's next for you.
I agree.
Vera said, because most of us were raised by mothers who had no identity they could call their own. To me, a mother housekeeper is a very hard job to fill. He said, is it bad to not feel guilt about that? Hey, Ashley, thanks for joining us. I'm not sure. Feel guilt about what? I mean, to be honest, again, as women, we take on a lot of things that don't belong to us. We feel guilty sometimes when we can't answer every call. We feel guilty sometimes when we can't be there for everyone. So I think sometimes guilt is misplayed and it's stuff that we do to ourselves. I will say, for me, there's very few things that I feel guilty about. Now, a lot of, and I just mean like, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. That's just who I am.
It's a
Unfortunately,
thing. It's just a thing.
right, it's just a thing. I will say sometimes I will feel a little bit of remorse about something that I may say, that might come out wrong or be misinterpreted. But guilt is just such a heavy burden, to bear, to even put on yourself. So I don't know if it's not bad to feel guilty about anything, but I really feel guilty. I don't know if that answered your question.
I think sometimes people, especially when you have all these different roles to fill and all these different hats to wear, that when you feel like you've fallen short of one of those roles, people go into this phase of feeling, bad about falling short and being simply human. And
Right.
I think that we have to learn how to get to the place where we realize we can't do it all, we can't do everything, and sometimes we just we miss the mark, and it's okay when you don't accomplish every single thing. Now,
Right.
will your kids grow up and be horrible human beings because you missed a couple? No, they won't. They'll be okay, they'll figure it out, and it will be okay if you miss something. So a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and then we end up feeling guilty about things that we really have no business feeling guilty about. It's okay to say no. It's
Right.
okay to want a moment of peace to yourself. It's okay to want to sit on the edge of your bed or sit on your porch and get some fresh air and enjoy some time to yourself, not having to fulfill duties for anybody else. It's okay to be in that place. And I think sometimes I don't know, it's like the society of be the perfect mom and be involved in everything and be the perfect wife and have, everything perfect in your home has created these images of what we're supposed to stand up to, or have standards to meet. And we don't all have to we're all different. And
Right.
how you do your momming and how I do my momming may be very different. And that's okay.
Vera said that takes time to get where you are, Smith. Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like I said, I'm just like, for me, you know, I'd rather point out who I am, and then everybody can kind of decide where you fall, kind of in the spectrum. So, what do you ladies think? I hear all the time, "Oh, black women, we are the strongest women there is," and I'm starting to hate that statement. And yes, hate is a very strong word, and I mean hate that statement, because then I feel like it causes people to think they could just pile, their demands and their needs on you, because as a black woman, black women are strong. You can just bear the burden of things, like you said, Shanetta, things that don't belong to you. You know, eh, God created all of us differently. We're all created to function differently, to have a different purpose. And people will try to make you fit into um fit into they what they feel your purpose is. She said, "Oh my God, me too." I did a live a couple of weeks ago saying the same thing. Right. But that's why you have to kind of ask yourself that question, kind of, who am I? And then live your life based on that fact. It's such an unrealistic goal. Absolutely. And by being a strong woman, what is the goal? To see how much you can carry, see how much you can bear. I mean, sometimes, to me, strength under fire isn't really strength. It's kind of like survival. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, if I'm not, it's not that I'm strong, it's I want to survive. Like, I've learned to survive. It's not really about being strong. Trina, you real quiet.
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, people will say you're strong. Like you said, people will say you're strong when all you're doing is surviving. You're hanging on by a thread. You know, you just making it. And there were times when I was going through grief, and I look back and I'm just like, you know what? Think there were some things that I went through, some things that I did during that time just to survive. I'm like, you know what? charge it to the game. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? I messed up sometimes. I didn't do, I wasn't as strong as people saw me to be,
Right.
And I'm just like, look, I was surviving, I was grieving, and it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and be upset about it, and at the same time, it's just like we also put things on ourselves, as being strong women. We'll pile it on ourselves unnecessarily. Right. But I found out what I'm starting to do is like you were talking about, considering everybody and
Right.
putting that on your plate. And I know, like, as my kids growing up, anytime I wanted to go on vacation and I take them with me, and I would consider, Tyson always wants to have something to do. He wants to have all these activities, but that's not what I wanted to do on vacation.
Right.
I want to go sit and veg out on the beach. Leave me alone. But I always had to consider, okay, he gonna be stressing me out. What we gonna do next? What we gonna do? So I had to have planned a vacation where he could have a whole bunch of activities so he could leave me alone. But now, sweetie, you conform to my vacation. Find out what you might want to do at my vacation. You know what I'm saying? Handle it. But that's just a part of them growing up, and the transition with them getting to be adults. We can all go on vacation together. I'm gonna do me. You go ahead and do you. We'll meet back here to eat or whatever. Right. So I think that I think as they get older, for me, it's easier for me to consider myself more, because now they can go ahead and do what they need to do, and we can still enjoy ourselves together, and I will say though, like, even when they were younger and I had to, like, I would make sure I made every single game, every recital, everything, every dance that they ever did, I make sure I was there all the time. And it was stressful, but on the other hand, it was something I always wanted to do. I never felt like it was a burden because I just wanted to be there. Like, it made me so happy to see them and watch them. And I think that I'm going to feel like Shanetta, I'm going to feel it when there's no game to go to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to feel like I'm not going to watch him. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, wherever he's in college, I can go watch him play or whatever. And I feel bad sometimes when, Jakashi still teaches dance, but she's not on stage all the time. So I still want to see her dance. So if she goes and take a class like somewhere in the city, I want to go watch her. And it's like, you ain't supposed to come watch. But still, like, I feel, but those are the things that made me happy.
Right.
It wasn't a burden, but it was something I gotta go, I gotta see, I gotta watch, I gotta see them,
Girl, I done already found random kids to follow.
Okay. So Vera said, as we grow, we learn to ask for what we need with no regret. That is the hope, that you learn to ask for what you need. Okay, so should we be apologetic? Should we have regrets? Like, with no regrets. Like, I know some people, they will like almost bust into a sweat, at the thought of having to say no to somebody. Like, the no is, should we live unapologetically? And I don't mean when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you should apologize, make it right, and keep it moving. I'm talking about, just being comfortable enough with who you are to, like Vera said, state what you need, state what you like and what you don't like, without the regrets. So, can we live unapologetically?
I say yes. I think yes. One of my sisters recently, we were talking and she mentioned to me, she was like, I'm learning how to say no without anything behind it. No is a complete sentence.
Right.
And people ask you to do things, people expect you to do things, and it's okay just to say no. Now, I have a kid in my class, I'll say no to something and he'll say, why not? And he really expects me to answer it. Like, it's so funny every time he does it because I just look at him like, who are you talking to? But he honestly expects me to give him the why behind it. And clearly that's how he lives at home. Like, people give him the why behind it. When he comes to school, he realizes Mr. McNair don't play that. But nonetheless, I'm learning how to look at him and just not even pay him any attention with his whole why not. And I think that's how we have to learn how to operate. No, Just no. Like nothing else has to come behind it. No, period.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times that no is where the guilt comes in. Somehow, somewhere, we've picked up or been told that it's wrong to say no. Like somewhere, it's been ingrained. And I think more so for women, because like even fathers, I'm sure you guys, you've all had husbands. They'll be like, no, and keep it moving,
Right.
like, but mothers, for whatever reason, it's like we feel this innate thing within us that is like, oh yeah, or it's like you could be sick with the flu and you ain't been out the bed in 2 days, and here come, I'll say my little daughter, my little Lexi Pie, and she, mommy, you want something? Like, okay, hold on, I'm coming, and I'm up and making my way to the door. Well,
Sure.
father come in and he's like, "Your mama's sick. You get in the bed and you go that way," and he don't feel no kind of way about it. But it's something I don't know where as women we picked it up. Like there should be, like you can't say no. Like it's something in that I don't know what it is. He said, "What would Jesus
He would
do?"
say
Is
no.
that it? Is that what it is? Is that what the Jesus would do? Because I know, like when it comes to, is it just like with kids? Is it something when the kids crawl out of us, we feel like we can't
We
say
owe
no to them?
I don't think it's just kids though, because I kind of feel that way with my mother. If my mother asks me something, I feel like if I say no, it's just wrong. That's my mother. I can't be saying no. Like what is that? Like I like even if I have a good reason, I feel bad even if I say no. And like my sisters, sometimes it depends on what it is. And my sisters, because they don't usually ask me for anything, so if they do, then you know, I feel like yes, all right. I mean, not that. I mean, and I guess my explanation right now is like it is not like I don't want to. It's not like I don't want to. And you know what I mean? Here's my explanation. I'm still giving the explanation, and they didn't even
Right.
ask nothing. But like, I never want to tell my sister I don't want to do something for you. You know what I mean? Because that would be wrong.
Okay, why is that
You know,
wrong? Not why is it wrong though? Not
because
for
she's my
what?
sister. That's my mother. That's my sister. That's why.
So you're supposed
It's
to want.
just straight on that alone.
Listen, well, I love your sister and I love your mother. You know that all day long. But I'm just saying, what is it about us that make us feel like, we can't say no? Like I'm 44 and I don't struggle with it as much as I used to. He said I'd work a miracle for right. And I was just about to
Right.
say, like, when it
Right.
comes to my mom, yeah, I will, sometimes I'll be like, "Ma, I can't do it." And then I'll hang up the phone and I'm on the phone with somebody else getting it
Mhm.
done. I'm mad because
Mhm.
I'm mad because I'm getting it done. But yeah, but but I think with your parents, you realize, oh, look at your mom. She's so sweet.
It's not okay.
But I think with your parents is that sense of, like you raised me, you carried
Right.
me.
Right. And
Mhm.
I know that my mom would do anything for me. She
Right.
would, stop everything, drop it, do whatever she can for me. And, I feel the same way about her. Like,
Right.
Right.
you know,
She said, "Oh, Ashley said I feel guilty for saying no because of hearing the backlash." Oh no, that's the quickest way to get a no from me. Like let because Trina, like you said, used to feel like I'm the mayor. Like people come to me and everybody got something, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. So like if it's something that I can't do, like I feel like there's a reason I can't do it. So
Yeah.
if you go to mouthing off, the next time when you making your way to me, I've already got a no way down in my spirit, waiting for you to get over here.
the spirit.
Right.
Way
So I
down.
can share it with you. Because, it's just once you do that, the no's come easy for you. You've
Mhm.
earned some extra no's. Just based on that, Anthony said, but can there ever be too much? Absolutely. And I'm sure he's asking that question from an interesting place because over the years, I can honestly say I have put him through some stuff with me trying to be Captain Save 'em all. And
But
I'm go
but
ahead.
if you know someone won't try to take advantage of you, like I know my mother would never try to take advantage of me or something like that. Right.
You
For your
right,
mother.
he said not for my mama.
Like if you know someone wouldn't try to take advantage of you and would only like my mom won't call me to do something unless she can't do it
Right.
or that she's kind of scared to do it or she needs a little help or whatever. Um then that's why it's real hard to say no.
Right,
Because I know like if she's calling me, that means she really need me. That means I have to.
right.
You know what I mean? Like she
Yeah.
said, that's my mother.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, I mean, I think there are always going to be certain people, in our lives that we're always going to go above and beyond. I
Mhm.
just feel like that shouldn't be the whole. That shouldn't be your whole song. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be the whole chorus of your life. That you
Yeah.
just going above and beyond everywhere. I think that we have to. Remember that we're more than the problem solver. Like
Right.
that's great to be, a quality that that you possess is great to be a helper, but you're more than that too. At some point, you're the person that fine, I may not or I may really find myself in a position where I need help, but on the flip side, I still need your love and support. Because, sometimes when you're the strong person running around answering everybody's, demand and prayer and, making a way and all this stuff that you're doing, people don't even look twice at you. You'll be, running, dragging one foot behind you, and
Yeah.
nobody ever thinks to ask you if you're okay. Right. Like Elder McNair said, balance. Like there has to be some balance
Yeah.
in our lives.
I think you can't become somebody else's crutch.
Right.
Um, you can't be their everything and you're not even anything for yourself.
Right.
In order for you to be able to support others, you have to spend some time supporting yourself and pouring into yourself. So sometimes you do have to take that step back. But I think the people who you love the most, who love you the most, also, they
Right.
know when you just can't, and they're not
Right.
gonna
Right.
put you. Hopefully, they won't put you in a position where it's too much for you, and they're more, like they're becoming a burden on you. Hopefully, they'll realize that oh, maybe I can do this myself. Um, I don't necessarily need somebody to do this for me. I
Right.
can handle this. I can do this. Or can you show me how to do this so that I can be self-sufficient so that I don't have to keep calling you to do it? When I wanted my kids to learn how to do laundry because we had 5 kids running around and I wasn't trying to do laundry for 7 people all the time, I had to show them how to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, we're gonna buy this front load washer so you won't fall in when you're trying to put your laundry in there. So it loads right in the front. I'm gonna show you how to do this.
Right.
If you don't want to separate your clothes by colors, I don't care. You gonna wear them mixed up pink shirts that was really supposed to be white because you washed it with something red. Have fun with that. But I had to show them how to be self-sufficient so that they could be okay doing things on their own. And it's the same thing with other people in our lives. If it's something we can show them as opposed to always doing it for them, go for it. Teach them how to do it.
Right. So that goes back to, our title. It's pet like not getting stuck in a title, not getting stuck, in
Mm-hmm.
a role like you the savior of the family. So,
Right.
for 50 years, the family has been, loading you up because you the one everybody come to. Anthony said, how do you prevent from giving too much? I think boundaries. And before you set a boundary with someone else, I think you have to set boundaries for yourself. Like, you can't get into the habit of you staying up all night. Like you got a friend and you'll stay up all night to talk to her every time her and her boyfriend get into an argument. And then, you don't sleep all night, and then you'll go to work in the morning and you have sleep and you grouchy, and then you have your own family to take care of. So I think when you set boundaries for yourself, I know I need this amount of rest. I know that, outside of my family, I have to have a certain amount of hours that I just decompress. I mean, I think it starts with boundaries. And if you set boundaries within yourself, it's easier than when people call you, you already know how you kind of have your stuff situated. So it's easy to say, you know what, I can't do that. Like, maybe I could do it next week, or, give me some time and whatever, or I can do this much and then you're going to have to do the rest. I think boundaries goes a long way to prevent from giving too much. Trina, what do you think? How do you
Um,
prevent from giving too much?
I mean, I don't know that outside of my family, I don't really have a problem saying no too much.
Right.
Like, no, I don't think so. It's not something I can do. I don't have time or whatever. That's not my area of expertise, but I do know somebody. I'll get a number for you,
Right.
because again, especially when you have so much, and it's like you said, setting boundaries. I know all the things I have to do running
Right.
this household and my business, and I know the limited time I have. And like you said, for me to be successful, I need downtime. I
Right.
can't run and be successful. I have to
Mhm.
have time where I'm just decompressed, where I have nothing going on. I have to recharge. So
Right.
if I don't have my recharge time, nobody's going to be happy. Anybody around me is not going to be happy. So I can't put stuff in to that my recharge time. And if you look at my schedule and you think I'm not doing anything, I'm doing something. I'm recharging.
Right. Okay. Elder McNair said, "What's too much?" I mean, honestly, I feel like only you can decide what's too
Right.
much. Like, I can't decide for Shanetta what's too
Mhm.
much, even though I try to do that to people sometimes. Like, you ever ask somebody, because, remember when I was asking you, like, to do the cake? And you was like, well, maybe I should do, like, cupcakes too. I was like, no, I think that's going to be too much.
Yeah.
Like, and that comes from so much time of people just asking me to do phenomenal things that now I'm always conscious,
Right.
of what I ask people to do. And I
Mhm.
think sometimes, people are so, I know selfish seems like such an ugly word, and sort of self-centered, but that's kind of the reality of it, because you're willing to dump a load of demands on somebody just because you know they won't say no. So I think what's too much, I think that's like a personal, everybody
Right.
has their personal meter of what's too much. Because for me,
Right.
what I might be willing to do and able to do, Shanetta's like, I can't do that. You need to go back to
Right.
Sam, because she the one,
Right.
she the one willing to do all that. I'm not that person.
I think it also changes with time. There was a time where you could probably ask me to do 10, 15 different things, and I'll be good with it. I could get it done. I had the energy, I had whatever I needed to get it done. But you ask me now to do the same 10 to 15 things, and I'm looking at you like, wait, what? What time I'm get done? Is it gonna be after 9:30? Because I
Right.
really don't. So I think it changes over
Right.
time. Like something that I could have produced overnight 15 years ago, it might take me a whole week to get it done
Right.
now, just
Right.
depending on, my energy level, because I might literally be just sitting on the couch and go to sleep on you. So I don't really know. It just I think it changes with time, but too much. So you have to adjust based on your ability in any given time or moment.
Right. And I actually said it's not selfish, it's self-full. Not sure what that means, but right. I think you're absolutely right. It's when I encounter people, like when I talk to people, sometimes it's at church, they want to, oh, Sister Walker, da, 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 da. Like, and I'm really not. I don't like it. I like for people to call no, and let me explain why. I know it's probably about to sound crazy to some people, but I feel like it's a part of me teaching you how to treat me. Just call me Samantha. Because when you see me, I want you to realize that I'm just Samantha. I'm not sister, because I feel like then everybody falls into the sister category. So because your sister this and your sister that, you think that all the sisters are gonna act the same, talk the same, produce the same. I'm Samantha. I'm a totally different individual. There's a total different set of rules when you're dealing with me. I'm gonna respond differently, probably way outside of what you think is gonna happen. And I just feel like sometimes, I'm just me. Like I don't wanna be put into a specific category, because I feel like then you're lumped together and everybody's looking for you to act the same and respond the same. When you just call me Samantha, you realize that it's just one of me. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a unique experience when you dealing with me.
Yeah. I will amen that. Let me tell you why. So there are moments, my husband is an elder. So
Right.
there are moments where because he's Elder McNair, I know what I'm gonna get. I kind
Right.
of know what the response is gonna be. So when I don't want the Elder McNair, I literally tell him, listen, I don't want Elder McNair right now. I need Michael.
Right.
And I kind of have to make that distinction very clear that this is who I'm looking for right now. I need you to be outside of, the elders box and the collar and the title. And like, I need to talk to Mike right now.
Right.
I need Mike for a few minutes. So I definitely get that there is an expectation with titles.
Right.
And whether that, and we hadn't even gone into the titles in church that much, but when you have that title, whatever that title is or that role, there's a certain expectation of what's expected from that person because of the title that they carry. And sometimes they're not their title. They need to be the person. They need to be who they are without the title. So I definitely get that.
Right. And like, being the oldest of five, I can remember several different times, my siblings be like, oh, you don't want my big sister to come over here. And I'm like, yeah, they probably don't. But then, you become the big sister. Like, and it's crazy because now, out of my siblings, I mean, I'm still the big sister, but, some of them will go for the gold long before I even get there. Like, sometimes I can, like I said, just be me. And there's so much, you relieve so much pressure from people, I feel like, when you allow them just to be them. Like, no disrespect, no whatever,
I knew he was gonna have a comment.
Listen, I was waiting. I was waiting.
I already know
Like,
it was coming.
even on Purpose for Forever, when we interview people, like if you have a title, I always ask people ahead of time, like, do you need to be whatever, or how do you want to be addressed? Because I don't want to put people in a box. Like I don't want to. Oh well, you want to be addressed like this, and like you said, there's an expectation that comes, with those titles, even if it's just a daughter. Like it's funny. My mom, in her interesting way of thinking, she has us all categorized. Like which kid she calls at different stages when different things are happening. It sounds great, but the reality is because we talk, it's always very confusing because when we talk to each other, it's kind of like, well, she called me for this. Oh, but then she called me for that. For a while, it took a while to understand, why. But I get it now. I get it because, we're so individualized. This one handles this better than this one. We're all unique and we all have our special areas. So even though we're all daughters, we're all distinctly different. And we're not so bound by the titles of just being a daughter. So because you're my daughter, we're going to do this. Mother says setting a limit on how much you can do in a lovely way. Listen, I already know anything she does is going to be done in a lovely way. Like I've never met anybody besides her who can get you all the way together with never raising her voice. She is always classy, always soft spoken, but you definitely walk away knowing, yeah, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have, like, that was definitely wrong. Like, you really want to get it together. She's just learned how to master the art of correction.
Mhm.
Like with whatever it is, you don't feel like you've been beat down, but you definitely walk away knowing that don't do that again. Don't do that again. Like she is so great. So yes, anything she done is gonna be done in a lovely way. I love that. But yes, we have to set limitations. We have to set boundaries, and don't get lost in other people's fights, other people's burdens, other people's struggles. Like Shanetta said, be a help, but don't be a crutch. I don't know about the whole waymaker. I'm gonna leave that up to Jesus. He need to be your waymaker. I could be your friend. I could be, I could be a support. I could be a cheerleader.
Mhm.
I might even be able to, be of assistance in different areas. But we have to be clear on our limitations, because we all have limitations. And, we have to be clear on what we can do. And then also sometimes there's things that you shouldn't do. Sometimes no is just because I shouldn't do it. It's not that I can't. It's just I won't. And that's okay. Being unapologetic. Don't let anybody stick you in a box, in a title, and make you feel like you have to look like, talk like, respond like a certain thing. I'll just set a clutch and not a crutch, right? Like, you got to be able to help out and keep it moving. You can't become a part of somebody's holding their building up. Like I'm holding you up and I'm just stuck here holding you up forever. No, no, no. You help out a little bit and I like Shanetta said, you help people to become self-sufficient, even if it's just through support and inspiration, helping you get to a place where you can be self-sufficient. So ladies, our homework with Shanetta, I know you already working on it, girl. When them titles change, we gotta, you know,
We're
stick
gonna add empty nester to the list.
Yes, there you go. Listen, that's one thing you can put on your checklist. This is something I've done and done it great. So look at that. That's something you can add to your woman resume.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great thing. So as things change, don't forget yourself. Like
Right.
you're just as important. Actually, you're more than important than everything else. It's okay to put yourself first. It really is. Even as a mother, it's okay to put yourself first. Now we know that there is limits to that and there's a wise way to do things and just a foolish way to do things. So let's not run with the comments and make it into something else. But it is okay to put yourself first sometimes. It is okay to say no. It is okay, I'll say for myself, just to be Samantha and not be, what everybody else think I should be in the moment. So as always, I'm sorry, ladies, did you want to have any final words?
I think we're good.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. We enjoy the support. We hope that, as I say every week, if nothing else, this conversation helps you to spark another conversation, or it gives you that extra little inch you need to be able to say no and be okay. Actually, I hope this helps you not to feel guilty next time you have to say no. We also have to be able to protect ourselves, our mental well-being, our physical well-being, and sometimes just to protect our peace. No is okay. It's not a bad word. And more times than not, no, I didn't. I was trying to be nice. But thank you guys for joining us. We're here every Tuesday. So we'll be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. and we will see you guys there.